today's show, think back to your grandma's living room. Remember that old, kind of dusty curio cabinet? It was full of collectibles, photos, frames, and statues. These days, the curio cabinet has been sort of replaced with built-in bookcases or open shelving, but those figurines, they have reinvented themselves in a trendy and upscale way too. From the abstract to more true-to-life pieces, sculptural forms and figures are a showcase item in high-end homes, the perfect way to add depth and warmth to a space and offer beautiful artistry to any space at the same time if they are selected and styled correctly. Jessica Bennett with Alice Lane Home has the right eye for this sort of design detail. She's here to show us the classy ways to use these accessories in your home decor. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
We're always inspired, so I can't wait to see how you're going to make these trendy and cool. Is it hard to make figurines classy?
You know, what's funny is it's not a new idea. It's a classic sort of decor idea. They did it in, you know, the Roman ages and all the classic Italian spaces where they use statuary, and this is a classic.
How has it changed, though, to join us in the year 2016?
Well, so what we're doing is the way we're combining it. Like you talked about, everybody's got a built-in today that sort of replaced the curio cabinet.
Right.
So if we're going to use a lot of books and all that structure, that organic form of the sculpture makes us look smarter than we really are.
Makes our home and maybe us look a little more intelligent.
We look very studied and worldly. And
I like it. Well, you're walking us kind of on a home tour today and identifying, pointing out a few specific places in our homes we could really play up these classic statuettes, is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Statuary, I like that word too. First, starting in the entranceway, why is this a good location for these items?
Yeah, so like we mocked up a little entryway moment right here, and I think it gives it some strength and also just sort of an organic form. So we usually have a lamp that brings a lot of structure. We used a runner here. And also, like you're seeing on your screen right now, we've got that little gold form, wire form of a body, and it sort of loosened that up because we've got so many straight lines and gives us an organic form. That was in Emily's house, and she's a fashion blogger, loves fashion. The human form seemed really fitting for her entryway.
It's beautiful. So you're looking at lines and curves and trying to balance those two movements out.
Exactly.
Love it. And this vignette here in studio you were referencing, the soft cloth kind of counterbalances the harder lines?
That's right, yeah. So we've got sort of this draped moment, and then we've got a lot of straight lines. And so this sort of gentle curved sculpture is, I think, really easy to get along with. Anybody can relate to it. It's got a little bit of strength to it. The form is just beautiful and graceful.
So talk to me a little bit more about scale, because in an entranceway table, for example, you're always going to have a lamp. Should the statue ever be larger scaled than the lamp or your greenery, or should it stay smaller in space?
I think for most people, I mean, it depends. Maybe they've got a great heirloom where they've got a really big sculpture. Most of what we're finding today is going to be a little bit more scaled down. I think the trick, too, is always getting a lamp that's over 30 inches.
Always?
Always. I mean, your nightstand lamps, everything else, because otherwise you're like getting under it to try and turn it on, and it's too dinky, and it kind of shrinks your space.
Okay.
If we go bigger, then we've got that light right where we want it, and it can kind of cast onto the beautiful sculptural object.
It's acting like a spotlight.
Yeah, and it's got this grand moment, this grand foyer moment.
And you talked about with Emily, that fashion blogger whose home you styled in such a beautiful way, you talked about wanting to tap into her creative passions, right, and interests. Do we want to do that with the items we bring into our home, even in a space like the entranceway?
Definitely. So like you can see here, the horse might not be anything that you really care about, and so that might not be a good one for you. I would find things that really speak to who you are and your soul and your experience. Some people their grandfather might have been a horse farmer, or they love to ride, or, you know, this might be a part of their life. If not, I think we should try a different sort of statuary.
You love it more if it means something, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, the entranceway location number one, another great spot in the home to work in these type of accessories, you say, is in the home office or the den.
Yeah, yep. So what we've got here is Poseidon. He's a really, he's a figure from Greek mythology, and he looks really smart. We're all going to have...
incredibly smart.
Right? Isn't he commanding?
Yes.
You just sort of think, you probably think I'm a lot smarter than I am if I had that in my house. Yeah, we love this. And so a lot of those built-ins, home offices, whatnot, you're going to have probably, this will be in a cubby or some sort of straight shelving situation. Books are very straight.
Right.
All of his curls and his form really sort of loosen that up. Also the brightness of him. kind of comes forward. Your books might be mismatched. We chose some that are a little more harmonious, but he brings a lot of strength to any of those smaller types of rhythms and settings.
He pulls it together for sure.
Yeah.
And with a more studious, if you will, smart, intelligent piece, does the color selection make a difference in how you complement that particular piece of art?
I mean, most of these statuaries, you can see I've brought white. There usually are white. I've got a black one here today too. Like Emily's in her entry, it was a metallic. So they're usually almost always a neutral, so they're going to get along with whatever you have.
Let's go back to those home office pictures if we can for just a moment, because one thing I noticed from the images that you selected for this particular space, there's room for some quirky too.
Definitely, yeah. So this wire form that we use in this gentleman's office, I think is definitely very quirky. We've used the peace sign, which brings some personality to a space. Everybody sort of relates to that.
I like it.
And then this black form of a woman, I think, is so sophisticated. We've got these little human bodies that are leaning up against these books as bookends. And up top, we've got just a head. It's just a small and simple head, which is kind of that thinking reference when it's paired with all of the books.
See, that's one way I think, and back me up here, that it's evolved, is I think of my grandma's curio cabinet. They were all pretty serious, pretty purposeful, pretty meaningful, but there's room to play. There's room to have some fun in this day and age.
Definitely. Show your personality. Buy the things that really relate to you and your experience, or give you a laugh, or make you pause and really think.
That means something to me. This third space, admittedly, a little bit of a luxury. We're going to go to some photos of a master bath area, master closet area. And if you have the space, if you have the room, this is a place you can have some fun.
Definitely. So this is, again, in Emily Jackson's closet. We used the peace sign, some statuaries over on her purse counter where we draped her jewelry. This was a head we used in Cara Lawrence to help support her hat collection.
Fun.
And then this is just a really great place to drape some of your own jewelry and have it feel a little bit more classical.
Could you do that in the master bedroom, do you think, with a statue head like that?
Yeah, I mean, we might have a long dresser or something where we could use a head and some books or our jewelry collection. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in the closet, but it could definitely be used in the master
I was
zone.
trying really hard to listen to what you were saying and not drool over that master closet at the same time. You've got a small scale vignette for us here that could represent maybe a smaller closet or a smaller space.
Definitely, or maybe even if we just have a cubby in our closet, that we could give it a break for a minute and take those shoes out of that pile of sweaters and slide a little leather tray in like this. And then we use this little statuette, draped some of our jewelry. We've got a little bit of our bracelet collection in the drawer, and then stack our sunglasses, you know, all in a row, and it will kind of give you that retail moment.
Yes.
That's really sophisticated. And then even if you have shoes up here and shoes down here, or stacks of sweater in between, this at eye level will sort of give your eye a little bit more of a luxurious.
I love that phrase, give yourself a retail moment, right? You'll appreciate your items a little bit more if they're artfully arranged in this beautiful way. All right, 3 great places to use the new and modern figurine and collectible in your home. And I want to ask you while you're here, I saw the newsletter go out, Christmas at Alice Lane is in full swing.
Yes, it is in full swing, so you got to stop by the store. And our giftable collection goes online on Monday morning. So if you live in St. George or Logan or anywhere actually in the U.S., we can ship your Christmas for you. And we've got a really great curated giftable collection. So all different price points, and we can send your loved ones beautiful gifts.
That's the best gift to give, handpicked by our friends at Alice Lane. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.